Now, the Central Bureau of Investigation has moved the Calcutta High Court against the FIR that was filed against 7 senior officials under Section 302 of the IPC for the murder in the Lalan Sheikh custodial death case. The hearing is likely to begin at 3 p.m. Now, remember, this was the story of a custodial death in the Birbhum district of Lalan Sheikh. He was the accused in the Bogtui violence. He, in fact, was in CBI custody. That's when he apparently allegedly committed suicide, is what has been reported so far. The West Bengal CID, in fact, ordered a probe into the death of Lalan Sheikh. And this is what has come to light at the moment, that CBI has now moved the Calcutta High Court seeking a dismissal of the FIR against 7 of its senior officials in that very case. Now, remember, Lalan Sheikh was a prime accused in the Bogtui violence, and he, in fact, was found hanging on Monday in the washroom of the Central Agency's camp office set up in a guest house, with the CBI officials claiming that he died by suicide. Let me take this across to my colleague Shougata, who joins us on the broadcast. Shougata, tell us more. The fact that this case is in all likelihood going to be heard at about 3 p.m. today.
Well, you see, the startling complaint that has come from the family of the deceased Lalan Sheikh, his wife, Reshma Bibi, has filed a complaint which alleges that Lalan was tortured and murdered in CBI custody, given the fact that he was obviously found dead under unnatural circumstances,
yes,
with a piece of cloth, a gamcha, tied around his neck. He was found hanging inside the washroom, as you rightly pointed out, and the matter has now been, registered as an FIR with sections pertaining to unnatural death and murder, which have been added to that complaint, which has now is being treated as an FIR by the police. We also know that the Bengal CID has taken over the probe responsibilities of this case, and the CBI is simultaneously conducting a very high-level inquiry into the matter, with the additional director of the CBI who has flown in from Delhi in Kolkata, and in all likelihood visit Rampurhat today itself. At the officers are also headed for Rampurhat and are probing the case in the wake of the fact that there has been severe backlash from villagers after Lalan was found dead under mysterious circumstances. The CBI, as you rightly pointed out, has now moved Calcutta High Court against the murder charge that has been slapped against the agency, especially its officers, some of the senior officers. Some 7 officers have been named in that FIR. So there would be a legal counter to that, and as you rightly pointed out, the matter would be heard by the Calcutta High Court, is likely to be heard by the Calcutta High Court later in the day today.
Shougata, stay on. Let me actually sum up for our viewers. We are also putting out that complaint copy of Lalan Sheikh's wife. She, in fact, has made those allegations against the CBI, and in her complaint, this is based on which the FIR was filed against the 7 officials. We are putting out the details of that very complaint. Now, remember, Lalan Sheikh's wife lodged an FIR against the CBI officers. She also claimed that CBI officers have asked for 50 lakh rupees to settle this matter. In fact, she also mentioned that her husband had been tortured by the CBI officers, and she went on to also say in her complaint letter that the officers took Lalan Sheikh to their house and were asking for hard disk. She also goes on to mention that she feels that her husband was being pressurized to name big people in this particular case. Her complaint is also full of accusation against CBI officers, which also mentions that officers asked for 50 lakh as a bribe from her. Shougata, the fact that she mentions that Lalan was being pressurized by these very officials to actually get down to naming a few people. These are high-ranking people, probably in high offices, and he was made to actually spill out those names. Do we have any details on that?
Well, you see, Reshma Bibi, the wife of the deceased, has accused CBI officer Sushant Bhattacharya, who also happens to be the investigating officer in one of the cattle smuggling cases, which the CBI is also investigating, and has also named the SP CBI, Swaroop Bey, and the DIG CBI as being co-conspirators in this alleged murder that she complains about, and obviously these are very high-ranking officers with the agency. Now that has ruffled quite a few feathers. We do know, as I've been reporting, that senior CBI officers, the additional director of the CBI has flown down from Delhi. He has been, holding meetings in
Absolutely.
Kolkata.
Shaukat, I'm really sorry interrupting you. We have got a word from the BJP as well on this very story. In fact, after Mamata Banerjee raised suspicion over Lalan Sheikh's death in CBI custody, BJP's Amit Malviya has taken on the West Bengal Chief Minister, and he has gone on to say, and I'm quoting him here, is there a criminal in West Bengal that Mamata Banerjee is not sympathetic towards? In fact, Amit Malviya is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Malviya, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. You are actually laying a very, very stringing attack on the TMC government in the state of West Bengal.
Well, that's true. The only government and the only political leader who stands to benefit from Lalan's suicide is Mamata Banerjee and the TMC. And let's not forget, we have seen several instances in the past where Mamata Banerjee had the TMC strongman Anubrato Mondal, who's now in CBI custody, in her car. So she is quite sympathetic to these criminal elements. And it appears that Lalan Sheikh was under tremendous pressure from the TMC to not reveal the names of their top leaders, and that's what led him to suicide. As far as the suicide is concerned, of course, the matter will be investigated by the NHRC as per the late process and law. But it raises several questions on TMC's strong-arm tactics, how they are intimidating the families of those who are in custody of CBI and the ED for cattle smuggling, women trafficking, coal smuggling, and whatnot.
Right. Mr. Malviya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I would just want you to bring your attention to this complaint copy that we are putting out for our viewers. This complaint copy is the complaint that has been filed by Reshma Bibi, who is Lalan Sheikh's wife. Now, she has alleged torture. So, it's an alleged suicide. There is a claim that he died out of pressure while in CBI custody. That is the accusation, and that's why the matter also has now reached court, because CBI is contesting this FIR against 7 of its officials.
Like I said, there is a laid down process and procedure for custodial deaths, and NHRC will investigate the matter. But it is also the truth that the TMC had been putting tremendous pressure on Lalan Sheikh's family to ensure that he does not put out names of TMC leaders, the top leadership of the TMC, which would implicate them in coal smuggling, women trafficking, and cattle smuggling.
All right, Mr. Malviya, thank you so much for joining us.